happen in 2011. And perhaps, if you're listening and you're concerned about it as well, you can make some moves or based on what Gerald has to tell us about and his warnings of what might be happening just around the corner. Starting Saturday is 2011. Or as Steve Gregory and I like to say, 011, even though my wife yelled at me about that. All right, Tim Conway Jr., Gerald Celente is with us, the publisher of the Trends Journal. We'll come back with more predictions of what's going on in 011. Tim Conway Jr. sitting in for John and Ken on KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. Tim Conway Jr. is filling in for John and Ken till 7 o'clock. And that's when Kennedy comes in. Should be on till 10 o'clock tonight, and I think tomorrow night as well. All right, Gerald Celente is with us, and the New York Post has written, if Nostradamus were alive today, he'd have a hard time keeping up with Gerald Celente. Now, that is a huge compliment. This guy is going to tell you what the trends are for 2011, and it doesn't look good. Gerald, welcome back.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, so in your opinion, and I think you have enough evidence to back this up, that the middle class or everybody living in the United States, we're already back into another recession. Is that correct?
Yes. We haven't gotten out of it. When you look at the unemployment numbers, let's look at the facts.
Sure.
When they passed the stimulus program, they said before they passed it under Obama that without the stimulus program, we'd be hitting unemployment in 2010 at around 8%. Voila, what are we at, 9.8?
Yeah, 9.8.
We hit 10%, and that's with stimulus, and plus, as I said, $13 trillion lent, spent, and guaranteed, plus another $20 trillion that they shoveled under the table to foreign banks and hedge funds around the country. So,
Amazing.
No, this thing isn't going to end. And
now,
we don't know when the date is going to happen because they keep coming up with these schemes undreamed of. And by the way, I'm really, I hear people calling Obama a socialist, a communist. No. The merger of state and corporate powers, by definition, is called fascism. And fascism is one of the trends that we're looking at. As we all know, the indignities and the subjugation that people have to go through with the TSA, and now we hear from our illustrious Homeland Security czar, Janet Napolitano, that they're going to be putting, having people in Walmart rat us out,
right.
And they're going to be putting the war on terror, they're going to wage it in hotels and in shopping malls. And Janet I can't believe this stuff, that people believe it when she speaks. She's the Homeland Security czar. This woman couldn't run up a flight of stairs. And she's going to protect me with all her wisdom?
Right.
No. What's happening is we're losing our rights, and that's another one of the top trends of 2011. It's a loss of liberty.
Right. Well, look what they did with the one pilot that was critical of TSA. The government turned around and made his life a living hell.
Exactly. And look what's going on with the police. They need money. They don't touch the big guys. No. Have you seen any heads roll from all these big financial crimes? They get a slap on the wrist, a financial slap on the wrist. They're hands off on them. Just like that clown, that Senator Ensign over there that they found in Nevada, that they paid off I love these guys that get caught cheating on their wives, and they cry like little babies.
Right.
They paid off.
Yeah, the apology is always great.
Isn't it?
Whether it's,
I got caught, what? And can you imagine the indignity? This guy Spitzer, the governor of New York, dragging his wife up on the stage after he gets caught with a hooker. You want to know what's happened to America? There's not a man out there in the political scheme.
I know. I'm one of the last guys in the world out there.
What?
Now, real quick, I want to ask you a couple of questions here. What specifics? Again, we're talking to Gerald Celente. He is a trend expert, and he is the founder and director of the Trends Research Institute. Can you give us any specifics
Yes.
what might happen in 2011 when it comes to mortgages or specific banks or trends. What do you think?
I'm very
like
bullish
two or
on
three
gold.
great specifics.
I've been very bullish on gold and have been since we called the bottom of it in 2001. We're forecasting gold 2000. We're looking at a global currency crisis that's going to get so bad that they're going to call bank holidays.
Wow.
In the short amount of time we have, the last time they called a bank holiday in 1933 under Roosevelt, what most people don't know is that they devalued the dollar. And they're devaluing the dollar in front of our eyes. That's one of the main reasons why gasoline prices are going up so high, because oil is based on dollars.
Now, let me ask
so
you,
many other
Gerald,
commodities.
what do you think is going to happen? California is $500 billion in the red when it comes to the pensions here. What's going to happen with the state of California? Do you see bankruptcy?
We're going to be seeing defaults nationwide. It's over $2 trillion worth of debt from states and municipalities. There's no way the government could bail them out. We're going into very perilous times, and that's what we're warning people. Don't spend an extra penny that you don't have to spend. Anything that you buy, and by the way, people ask me, well, you're pointing out the problems. What are the solutions?
Right.
Buy local and buy American. We have to bring manufacturing back to this country. I grew up as a kid. They taught us to hate the Chinese, those dirty commies. Guess what? Same group. So, I'm a believer in the golden rule. Not only do unto others as you would have them do unto you, but those that have the gold rule. And
yeah, my daughter's 5 years old. We just celebrated Christmas, and I purposely took all of her gifts once she opened them, and she had about 12 gifts. Once she opened them, and once Santa Claus had dropped off the gifts, that I put them in two different piles. The gifts that were made by the North Pole elves and the gifts that were made by the Chinese elves, and the pile was 11-1.
Yeah. And so that's what people have to understand. As long as this keeps going in this direction, you're going to love that job at Walmart stocking shelves at 2 o'clock in the morning. So the politicians that are talking about global, and I'm not an isolationist, I travel the world, but I do know the facts, that America was a lot better before globalization and when they had regulations in that didn't allow the banks. This is the greatest bank robbery in world history, and the banks are doing the robbing right in front of us. So we're not recommending. What we're saying is that gold is going to go up, and we're also saying the dollar and all fiat currencies are going to decline. We're also saying there's going to be positive things. We may see a major energy breakthrough this year, far beyond wind, solar, geothermal, or biofuel.
All right, Gerald, thanks for coming on. We're short on time here. We'd love to have you on maybe 6 months into the year to see if all things have come true.
Okay, thanks, Tim.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Happy New Year.
All right, go to the web.